Hello, I hope you're well. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. Today I'm going to cover a very important topic. Although late, it's going to be something that changes your whole life. Well, let's hope. Other than that, I just want to say thank you to the people who have liked my former videos, whether it's just one like. I'm so grateful for that. And when I see such a thing, I know that the message has resonated and that the message has actually played a purpose in your lives. So today's topic, we shall be talking about why I do not believe in January or JANU-WORRY and the impact of believing in it spiritually. So I'm just going to start first by defining what January is. So for the East Africans or for the people who speak Swahili, we have something called January, which is nja, which means hunger, worry. So it's like a vibe. It's kind of like um how can we call it? It's kind of like a trend that happens in January where uh, it's what when people have overspended during the Christmas holidays. January comes in and everyone is broke. People took out loans just so they could enjoy the holidays, and therefore they call it in January because you're starving. You're not eating the foods that you want to eat because of course you're paying the loans, or you're just super broke, and it's something that happens in the first month. So characteristics of January is characterized by waiting for your first paycheck. People are living hand to mouth in the month of January. And it's pretty much just that, but it's something that happens, and I've seen it happening so much. I mean, there's always so much going on. Like kids go, it's a new year with the school. It's yeah, it's a new year with the school, it's new resolutions, and people took loans, they did all these things, and life just becomes weirdly. And then for us, I'm East African, the weather is extremely hot during January. So like you know it's hot, everything. It's like it's not just hot, it's the hottest month. Okay, so the start of the year, so that's what January. So in Swahili, nja means hunger, so it's kind of like a thing, and it's something that I've seen a lot of people. It's something that happens every year. And what I know about January, January is I've seen this with especially South Africans. Yes, January is kind of like your first month, the first month of the year, and you're worried. It's a month of being worried and waiting for your first paycheck again due to the spending and the mentality that is going to be a hard month. So the thing is, people always celebrate December expecting it to be in January. There's always that thing, and I want to talk about it, the spiritual impacts of believing in such a thing. So first of all, I'm not an advocate, and that's something that I try to keep away from, this collective energy where everyone is just believing in suffering, in pain. I try and refrain from that. But again, growing up, we were conditioned. It's what we saw people doing, it's what we were accustomed and what we expected of life when we grew up. However, at my age right now, and everyone is talking about it because again, we're in the month of February. And okay, the reason I'm even doing this video is because I'm actually seeing so many people, not in my life, but from work, who are experiencing this, and they constantly complaining about money, about how broke they are, about how it's always a hard month, in January. And yeah, so basically, I hope you get that. So for me, the reason I refuse to live in that narrative in my life is because I will not. It would be so good if I see people just, it would be so good if people just come out of this collective energy, they stop it. But you see, people do not understand how spiritual this is. They don't understand the impacts, and that's why I'm doing this video. And I hope that it gets to the right people, and I hope that for the people that it gets to, it challenges you. It challenges you to just, what? Challenges you to think better, to do better, and to want to do better, so that coming forward in the future, in the future years, you are going to you're going to see how this changes your life. I can see the lighting is low, but yeah. So other than that, I refuse to live in the scarcity mentality, where you're enforcing the belief that there isn't enough, believing that it's not enough. So that's what believing in these ideologies means. And also, I'm rejecting, I am not for this mentality whereby it's like you expect this to happen, you expect this to happen with your finances, and it's kind of like it's out of your control. No, it's not out of your control. It is in your control. It is your responsibility to take care of your finances. It is your responsibility to prepare for hardship. That is your role. It is in your control. So the minute that you know that it's in you, because believing in this is kind of like it's like it's something that happens, and you see, is it being like a trending and like a thing that happens? It's kind of like it's expected. It's expected each year. It's expected out of everyone. People even talk about it like, a stranger will just come up to me and be like, "Oh, in January," like, yeah, because it's expected, because it's everyone is going through it, and people have made it become like, yeah, it happens to everyone. No, it doesn't. The minute that you understand that that is not going to be me, and that, because of that, I ended up actually being very responsible for my December finances. Just as I'm preparing, I make sure that I'm so okay. And something else that actually, Kenyans are so I'm a Kenyan. Kenyans are so big when it comes to holidays and partying, and especially Christmas. During Christmas, it's expected. You go all out, and because of that, people also end up getting bonuses at work. I believe everyone gets bonuses at work at the end of the year. And apart from that, there's also apart from that, there's also the fact that employers pay you your instead of paying you like in January, like your December salary, they end up paying you in December just before Christmas. So, and because of that, you see, you have so much money, and that is the money that you go to show off to your family, to your friends, and you spend it all, with the holidays. The holidays are a big deal, they are, but you have to know that your life is in your hands. It is not anybody's responsibility to take care of you. So most people are suffering, and it's so sad, because some people are, they're responsible, for their families, for their kids, and when they believe in this mentality, they're subjecting other people into this hardship. So another thing is, just deciding that this thing, this trend, you won't let it affect your state of mind. Just deciding, like for me, like, I'm like, December, I prepare well. If we're going to spend money in December, you prepare for it in advance, you save for it, you put money aside, you set intentions, stuff like that, the usual. And then you're like, you know what, when people are prepared to be broke in January, you're preparing to be rich. I remember there's a year I ended up giving out so many loans to my colleagues. And when I mean so many loans, I mean little loans, because they can't even afford like food. It's that bad, and it's that bad, food, and that's why it's like little money, just little money here, there, men. And these were men asking me for. I don't know how they knew I have the money, but well, many people were asking for money. There's just this year, it was so weird. I had like four colleagues. I had loaned out some money to four colleagues for the sake of, they could not. And you see, we were all paid the same. Well, again, I'm responsible. Well, they are also responsible because they're my colleagues and I know them. It's just that I remember that holiday. One of my colleagues, I saw him. I think even there's a time I took him. We were coming out from work. We used to go on the same route, so we would drive the same. And he used to, anyway. So yeah, there's a time we went did shopping. And this happened for a week. Monday we did shopping. Tuesday we did shopping. Wednesday went to a market. He bought goats, chickens for his for him, like his seventh cousin's wife, uncle. And it was just, there's a day he even, I remember, that was the first day. The second day, he bought three more chickens as a gift to this person. All it was happening in January, sorry, in December. And look at that. Just imagine that, and I know we love our family, but sometimes our suffering is, we do it to ourselves sometimes, right? So, yeah, so that happens. So, for the spiritual meaning of all this happening, I believe in the power of the tongue, I believe in manifestation, and every time you speak it. That's why this year, when people are just coming to me, January, I do not speak. Actually, the first time I'm speaking these words is on this video. I do not even talk about them. I do not believe in them, and I do not even talk about. That's how serious I am. So I believe in the spirit. Sorry, I believe in the power of the tongue. I believe in manifestation, and I feel like every time you just keep speaking and talking about this narrative, you are inviting this energy into your life. You are allowing this energy to take root into your life, and when you refuse to speak to it, when you refuse, you are actually protecting your spiritual atmosphere from such negativity. So that would be something that can help you with this. Another thing is, you need to actually, other than speak negative, you need to speak mm, positive over your finances, over your life. You speak, you have sovereignty. You have to speak abundance into your life, into your finances. That's something that you can do. That is something that you should actually do. So you need to know that you have the power. And I feel like January is such a very serious month. January, December, I believe, I even tell my mom, like, I think I even have rules as to how I live and how every person should live in the month of December and in the month of January. You see, January is named after the god Janus. If if you've read that kind of history, and this is like a Greek god who has two faces, one on the back and one on the front. And what this means is, one is looking at the past. For me, the spiritual meaning. One is looking at the past, and one is also, the other face is looking at the future. And you see, like, January is a gateway month. And when you release, when you speak, and when you believe, especially the belief part, and you actually expect this kind of mentality, you are allowing this into a gateway into your future. Like, do you see the spiritual significance of that? Do you see how powerful that is? So that means that you're setting, January is so serious. When you do, when you go against, doing better for yourself, and you do this sometimes subconsciously, not even knowing, you're actually setting the tone for the rest of the year. You are setting tone, and you are, if you put this, if you believe, you are actually, those are the things you are actually praying. I believe prayer is not just words. It's not just words. You are actually manifesting that reality into your following year, especially January. Okay, so that's why it's very, very important you don't do that. And also, you have to reject those labels of suffering, pain. I mean, January is a time we should be resting. It's a time when we should be, planting, and it's we should not be speaking stuff. We should be speaking positive happiness. Just good vibes. That's what January is for. And also, I believe in having faith, right? Having faith, like I've spoken about. I want you to know that this January, they are rooted in lack. They are rooted in a deficit, right? So believing in these things, it means that you have lost faith. You have lost faith in the universe, in God, to actually provide for you. The thing that is so important, which again I should do a video on this, is always having faith in God. knowing that he's going to provide for you, knowing that there's always going to be a providence. He's going to always provide for you. And the minute that you believe into these ideologies, these terms, these trendy things, you are actually speaking into your life and telling God that you do not believe for him to provide for you. You do not believe that he is capable of doing that, because it's all these things are rooted in the in emotions like anxiety, fear, and you see all these are very negative. And you see, you should, when you lack trust, you should have faith. When you lack trust, um you should just, when you lack trust, that means that that's what you get, because you have faith in that. You do not have faith. So you should always know that, you have, no matter what happens, you should know that God will always provide for you, whether you have a job, whether you don't have a job, whether you have money. Some people are so realistic and they believe that is so unrealistic, but no, it is true. It has worked in my life. You do not need a job to have money. You do not need material things or money or to know like an assurance. No, if you believe God's coming through for you, you have faith, then He will. Trust you me, that that is gonna be happening. And you also need to be breaking generational curses, because this is something that is expected. This is something that has been believed on for so long, and everyone believes in the narrative, and everyone expects it. You cannot be living like this. You cannot, because it's so weird how I find it so weird, to be honest. I was just thinking about this December last year. Every year, people are always like, I can't wait for this year to end. I want to start afresh. I mean, do you find it normal? Every year, someone has a bad year. Every year, they're always looking for December to come so that a new year, and the year you're looking forward to, you just look forward to it to ending. Like, it's good sometimes to just be like, yeah, I've had a good year, I've had an okay year, I can have a better year. So, that is creating a pattern, as a pattern of, and that impacts your generations, that impacts your children, because they're learning from you how you live, they're learning life, they're learning, they are actually receiving all these energies that you are putting. So, you should refuse, you should reject, you should rebuke all these things. You should break that cycle of poverty and anxiety and always expecting to be poor. No, you can actually speak. You can tell yourself January will be the richest month of the year, and it can, and it will, and you just need faith, and you need to work on it, and you need to just, challenge your thinking and just be like, I will not believe in that, and see what happens. That's called challenging your things, your mind. That means challenging, sorry, yourself. So you need to practice mindfulness every day as you live, every day as you do things. Mindfulness is so damn important, because sometimes we just live thinking that we are living. We are not living. We need to be mindful. We need to be mindful of everything, and having the consciousness to just be like, yes, I'm going to be very conscious. I'm going, that's why we need to be meditating, so that we can live in the present. Okay. So that's it from me. And I know this video is late, but I think I'm doing it, but I know it will impact people, even probably in the coming years or year or whatever. But I just felt like this needed to be said, because it's so weird. I'm just at work or I'm somewhere, and everyone is believing in that ideology, but I don't. It doesn't apply in my life. I don't believe it. I'm like, okay, yeah, no wonder. And people who are saying that, they're suffering, and they're using that as an excuse. You have power over your life, I mean, but then your thoughts dictate your life. So, anyways, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that it resonates, and if if this doesn't apply to you, well, I know it applies somehow, because the people who use these terms, they're like East Africans, South Africans, or Africans in general, right? I'm sure it can apply in your life. I don't know about other countries, maybe expecting. But anyways, for the Africans, I know it resonates and I hope this will be of help. Other than that, if this video resonates again, I want you to like this video. That sends a message to me. That sends a message that, yes, you said something that makes sense. You said something that actually, yeah, made me challenge my thoughts. That's what it's sending a message to me. And it's nice to know that, yeah, you know what? I helped people. I helped you. So thank you so much for this video. It's kind of long. I'm sorry. I didn't want it to be like 20 minutes long, but here we are anyway. I'm going to wish you a good day, and I'm going to wish you a time, just good times. Other than that, have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.